Um, so our solo for this afternoon is a little bit experimental. There's a few art supplies around. So the theme of the solo is creative expression. Now, you definitely don't have to be any kind of what we think of as an artist. As Joan has shown us already, there's other ways to express and create in more of a literal sense with nature. So you can use song, and that doesn't even have to sound like what we think of as song. It doesn't need to even have words, but if you want it to, it can. You could use poetry. I heard that there's a guitar around somewhere if anyone can play music. But yeah, you can use your voice as an instrument, obviously, as well. If you're more of a visual creative person, you can draw, sketch, just simply make marks or impressions. You can also use nature art. So all that really means is like you look at what's around you in your sight and you can create something. Like you could make a little mandala with the leaves and stones that's sitting around you in your solo site. And it's up to you really whether you want to use this to express celebration and thanks. If there's something else really still bubbling up for you, you could also use it to help move whatever is trying to shift inside of you. So art can be such a great tool for helping our subconscious be able to express itself. And because sometimes the conscious mind isn't the right tool to enable things to express, and art and creative expression is one of those ways that it might be able to move. So up to you if you want it to be just celebratory. You could write a poem that is, giving back to nature, whatever you like, basically, whatever's taking you. Any other? No, sticks, colors. Yep. I think I've got it all. Yeah, so that's your solo time. It's pretty much, as a way of using it to close for your final solo. So it's whatever you most need and are going to benefit from right now. And it's also meant to be playful, which I think is it's such an important part of connection as well. So feel free to make it a little, dance. That's it. I was going to say, make it a little dance. You can also use movement as creative expression. I knew there was one more thing. So no pressure. I'm not expecting Picasso or whatever. It's about, you enjoying it and playing with it and see, what magic might come out with your creativity, your co-creativity with nature. If you are going to use objects from nature, just make sure you ask permission before you take things or move things, especially stones. They sometimes don't like to be moved. If it would be nice to share it with others afterwards as well. You don't have to, but for example, if you make a mandala out there, you might like to take a photo of it. If when you ask permission, that's okay. Because there's something beautiful about sharing that joy and connection in a different way other than words with other people. And then you've got one other little task is ask if you can bring something back from nature to add to the altar for the closing circle as well. So while you're out there, find something that represents what you've learnt, the time that you've had, or something special to you that wants to be involved, be part of the final closing circle with permission, of course. Okay. Great. Now I know some people might be a little bit shy, but if you do have some creation to share, I think it will bring a lot of other people joy to see or hear what it is that you've created. Also, I'd love to hear if, there was any revealing insight from the process of creative expression that you could share with us too.
I decided to write a poem because I haven't done so in a long while. So let me have a read. So the poem is called A Link Born Through Earth. So here you go. You beckoned me, not through my name, as we have never met, but through a kindred spirit that has long been set. Like a moth to a flame, I gravitated. Your presence, I hesitated. A test of trust or a test of courage. This was your home that was ravaged. Your body curved like a script arc, with supporting roles dangling from your fellow beings. I was entranced by the ending even before I got to the beginning. It took me 3 days to cross a bridge you made by breaking your back. The journey was bittersweet. I knew the answer even before the first track. You were alone and you wanted a friend. You welcomed me to your home as not a guest, but as a fellow being. 3 days it took me to cross a bridge. And now I'm here with a beer. Let's cheers to that, my partner with nature. Aramaiti, as we say. Here's some golden nectar that we both can flourish with nurture. And enjoy the rest of my time.
Yeah. Thank you. That's gorgeous.
Hi, can we call this art? Because I don't
Yes.
have many because I don't have many talent left, so this is just randomly. But yeah, because I really like this. I mean, this is like my childhood when I still primary school. I always like taking leaf and using the watercolor and stamp it on my book. So I just keep repeating the same habit, I guess. And I want this leaf stay here because I do believe this is my first diary that I got from the FSI team. So this book is almost 2 years already. So all the retreat and all the program still there. And yeah, and I really feel like sentimental value for this book. So I really want to put something like this to stay here forever because I don't have any glue. So I just use randomly plan. I just pick it, yeah. And so this is the final result. I don't know what to call it. Yeah, maybe.
My plant spirit healing teacher would say that the plants really appreciate offerings that are, from the creativity of humans that use our hands, because the rest of nature doesn't have hands like we do. And so it's like offering something that's uniquely human that no one else can do. So she highly encourages, like, I think she often makes things out of clay, but anything that's something that no other being of life can do is something that's an appropriate offering.
Before the last solo, I was feeling a bit confused. I'm not sure if I'm angry or not. Like, I feel like I'm supposed to be angry, but what I'm supposed to be angry about. So I feel sad, but I don't know why I'm supposed to be sad. I wanted to feel happy, but I still don't know what am I supposed to be happy about. So it's everything in mine ended in like being I don't know. And then I finally went and leaned against that, because one of the reason I didn't go there at first is so that jackfruit tree has a lot of dried leaves, and I'm actually very sensitive to like how I make sound when I move. If I'm moving, will I disturb people? Especially like the solo where they are doing solo is very nearby to me. So I think just now I moved in a way that I did not make sound on the leaves, and then I just like place this cloth near the tree, and then I just like sat down. I think I spent some of the time making my sleeves wet from tears while uh, writing a song. So yeah, I became a bit emotional while writing it. I think the first verse was what I said to the tree, and then the few verse might be from them, and then I think there's a what do you call it, harmony at the end. So the song is called Heartbeat, and we're okay. Feel confused. Am I angry? Am I sad? Am I happy? I don't know. I'm hearing the heartbeat of this tree, of the wind, of the earth, of the sky, and a buzzing bee beside me. They're saying you're okay, be okay, it's okay, you'll be fine. Your heart beating strong. Until it's time, when the bell rang, we are here, we'll be here, we won't go, so stay for a while. 3 days ago, you were there, I'm not there, now I'm here, we're okay, I thank you. I'm not sure that it's everything, but we'll be okay.
It was beautiful. I don't believe that you don't know how to play guitar. It's very bad to be able to strum and sing at the same time.
I thought I would try to make noises in response to the forest's noises. I'm not quite sure why I thought that. I think I'm still inspired by Joan's orchestra thing.
Yep.
But I'm working on finding my voice in this place. So I thought that would be a good thing to do. But as I was walking along making noises, I saw these beautiful red leaves, and I started thinking about Sam's daughter. So I started picking up lots of red leaves. Then after I picked up the red leaves, I continued to my spot. When I got to my spot, I thought, what is a better thing to do than the thing a child wants to do? I wanted to do something with the red leaves. So I went I went to see my strangling fig, who I'm trying to get to know. My strangling fig. This one, yes. This is my this is the strangling fig. So this is the character you've been hearing about. So you see the root hanging down there against the trunk. So that's what connects it to the, to the ground, what enables it to have life. So I was thinking about that. Can I see that? So I don't know how well you can see here, but I think already, you can see those narrow lines of roots coming down. The trunk is covered with those little roots. And then at the bottom of the picture there, you see a channel that ants have made, and they cover it with sawdust, so you can't really see it. If you had some good imagery here, every now and again, you see an ant appear in those little holes. So I was sort of just reacting to this plant and thinking about it. And then I started thinking about, well, what if I put the leaves where the roots are going up and down, tuck the leaves inside there. So they made like the same channel, that like the roots make the channel. The color isn't that good here, but the color is very bright in nature.
So I'm the last one to go. Claire. I guess the gist of it for me was celebrating the place that I'd gotten to know over the last 3 days. I felt really quite intimate with it by the fifth visit. It started with one tree, and then it became that, the whole surrounding. So I've been taught by a mentor, when you want to surrender something or offer up something to the earth, you put your heart to it. So I placed my heart on the being that I first was drawn to, which was this very big, I think it's a fig. So it's built in such a way where I could stand, I could straddle the buttress and put my heart to the trunk. And so I accessed the insight that I'd gotten earlier about being resistant to receiving. And so I surrendered that. For the ancestors to receive and to transmute for whatever healing that has to be done. That was really powerful. And then I was moved to turn around and sit on the buttress and have my root chakra on the buttress, and then sit back and have my spine against the tree, and just had this beautiful sense of that the community there had my back. And then it was just celebrating and giving thanks, and I was just naturally led to make a crown. Like everything was offering itself up for me to make a crown. I was like, no, I'm not gonna pick the plants, but the plants were sort of saying, pick me, make a crown, celebrate yourself, celebrate the moment. And so I did, and it became this, which I actually just kind of made along the way back. And it just layer after layer after layer. And there's like 5 layers of things, beginning with a rattan that I just like twisted around. So that was my little journey.
It's the crown that was made of the gifts you had received from nature. Okay. So we're about to close for the program. And the note that I wanted to finish on was really kind of drawing the threads together to say that, you know, we've been practicing these skills for partnering with nature, but along the way, I think, as you've discovered, a lot of things become revealed. You know, you become aware about a lot of things that's hard to put into words in a course, the sorts of awarenesses that come about, you know, our very human relationship with nature, what it means to be human as part of this co-creative team of life. The depths of what partnering with nature mean are very multi-layered. And I think ultimately, you know, it comes together, especially in the kind of work that you guys are involved in. It really comes together in what I like to call sacred activism. And, you know, as we sort of enter this program and we talk about communication with nature, and I try to sort of introduce it in a way that's as similar as possible to what we normally think of as communication. When another kind of level of this communication is that we communicate through prayer. And prayer doesn't have to look like, you know, hands together, eyes closed, bowing our heads prayer. But prayer really looks like when we really empower our intentions and desires for what we want for the greater good, and empower it with our love and our commitment. And if we can envision what we truly desire, what we truly want to see for the world with that love, and have our prayers come from a place of love and not fear, I think that's the most powerful form of change. And it happens in very non-linear kind of ways. So that kind of communication, you know, you may reach a moment when you're in your solo spot in nature where you find yourself in a very prayerful place. And it might be a year later and that becomes answered, or maybe sometimes we never really truly know. But we also, you know, empower those prayers through our actions. And so that's kind of the thought that, you know, I'd like to leave you with, is that, you know, all this really comes back to what do we take forward from it? How do we respond in reciprocity through the actions that we take? And hopefully, you know, realizing that we can be inspired in our actions through the creativity that comes and the inspiration that comes, as well as through maybe some direct answers to our questions when we practice this kind of connection and communication with nature. So I've got a quote from one of my favorite philosophers, Charles Eisenstein, and he talks about how we can experience this inspired creativity as a result of our prayers from the conjunction, so the coming together between inspiration and commitment. And creativity in this context is not an outcome, but a way of sourcing guided action from the ground of being. And so when we go into nature in this way, with this intention to connect and communicate, to receive guidance for something that's truly, you know, in service of the whole, this is where the inspiration can really come from, is from this collective unity of all beings. So I thought I'd just want to wrap up the program with that final thought from me. And I'd like to hand it over to you guys for some closing words into the circle. You can offer into the circle some reflections from that final exercise, or you can really simply say what you're wanting to take forward. What's your inspired commitment?
Yeah, for me, so in the beginning, also in our meeting, I said I have a mixed feeling about this session. I don't know what to expect and everything. I don't have any expectation, but yeah, God bless. It's turned out really good for me. I think, for the first time experience. And I learned something that you can always ask if you want. So yeah, sometimes people are, especially me, is reluctant to ask. Sometimes I like to figure out something by myself and then upset with the decision that I made. So sometimes you just need to ask, even though this question is sounds simple, so silly to others, but you never know what response you will get. Either it's good or bad, it's a response for me. So yeah, that's one thing I will take from this session. And thank you everyone for showing up for this session. And Claire, thank you for your time floating around the screen. And yeah, hopefully we can meet another time physically and have some good food here and enjoy the view here. Thank you.
Mm.
I am grateful to have found a space of healing, of teaching, of support, of music, and it's therapy. I'll stop there. But when I was saying bye to my spot, I didn't say like goodbye. I said, till next time. I'll see you again whenever, So I do intend to really commit to immersing myself in nature more going forward, because this was such a positive experience for me. So yeah, it was fantastic.
Awesome. Thanks.
Okay, for me, so first I want to say thanks to Claire. Even I'm not the best student here, but yeah, I learned a lot from. But trust me, I learned a lot from you, and I'm really appreciate your time and your commitment and your knowledge, because you're always there for us even we late. So I'm really appreciate that. And also for the FSI team, Noel, Katrina and Rizlan, thanks for always inviting me. I'm really appreciate that. And also the tech team, I don't have much time to talk with them, but they're really nice guy actually. Yeah, trust me. And also our boss there, thanks. Thanks for the room. First time I slept there, because before this I always go there kan, the underground. Yeah, and I really grateful to be part of this, what we call like a therapy for me. And I'm really grateful to come, and I never regret even skid. But yeah, hopefully we see each other again. I'm really thankful for this. Okay.
I think this session for me, I'm at a point where I feel really grateful and actually very excited, because throughout the past 3 days, I think there was a lot of truth about myself that was unlocked through the activities, all the insight and the reflections, and it was all attuned to kind of what I set, what the intention that I set initially, and I think it really helped in quieting down the noise and really listening to and really identifying what the truth is. So knowing how to do that is something that I really look forward to, and knowing that it's all how I can kind of be patient with it and also come to an acceptance of it was very empowering for me as well. And that was truly unlocked in through partnering with nature. And I ended up identifying truly as a child of Mother Nature and Mother Earth. And I love that as a child, there was the element of play and just being able to connect with it and have fun with it. And it was a space of growth and healing. Yeah. And I'm very grateful for everybody here. I think just hearing everyone's stories was very insightful, everyone's journeys. Thank you to the facilitators, Noel, Rizlan, Kat. Thank you for having us all up here and inviting and just reaching out. Thank you to the leaders, Ken, Cynthia, and of course, Claire. Thank you for facilitating this transformation.
Thank you. Thank you for trusting the process as well.
Actually, on that note, the name Kampong came from some years back when I decided I was not going to give out Christmas presents to my nieces and nephews because I was anti-consumerism. So decided to create this experience called Camp On here. And Ken was game, of course. So we created this, like, I can't remember, Katrina, was it like 2 days? So that was their Christmas present. They were going to come here and there was no food. They had to forage, go and learn how to hunt a chicken, cook the chicken. They were not allowed to have their cell phones, etc., etc. Anyway, but they really loved it, right, Katrina? I'm trying to remember if you were here for the first one. Maybe you weren't here for the first one. I think you were here for the first one, where we had the painting at dawn. We woke them up at 5:30 a.m. to paint at here with easels. Anyway, so the last afternoon, I decided to have a consultation with my nieces and nephews. What are things you'd like to improve here? And then, they gave their input. And then last thing was, when would you like to have a kampong again? Tomorrow! So the youngest nieces and nephews. That was very funny. Anyway, we still have them. It's always a question for me with these sessions if to participate as just a participant, or to be the boss, or to be the host, or to be a facilitator. And this was one, I think it's the first one this year that I decided I'm just going to participate. And I'm really glad I did, because I can give a lot of excuses and say I'm super busy and I'll dip in and out. And this time I just made the commitment, like I'm not going anywhere. I'm not looking at my computer. I'm just going to show up. And it's really been beautiful doing that. And particularly to do it with each of you. We almost called it off because, of the issues with vaccination appointments and COVID scares. And I thought, well, I mean, if it's 13 people probably looking forward to it, and it's, as you can see, this is not like training you how to use a GPS system or whatever. This is this experience, and it's very personal, which is ultimately why we decided to just go for it. And then anytime we're going to try to do it this year, or maybe even next year, we're going to have the same kinds of variables. So I'm really glad we just decided to go for it. There's 60 or 70 of us. I don't remember how many now. The Paddy team just grew. So there's this, like a percentage of us are here. And I really encourage you to share however you can share from what you've learned with your colleagues, with your teams. It's always when a group of people, when we can have this a language or a methodology or whatever you want to call it, an understanding, a literacy that we can share, it helps us, you know, it helps us do what we can, you know, what we do in a cohesive way. So we are going to record, you know, we are going to edit this, Claire, we talked about that, and make them available for you, for us, so that we can do this again, and we can do it in BM for the others. You know, even though our colleagues work in the forest, like the elephant team, like the Ramsar team, I'm sure they're not stopping to ask the elephant dung questions, for example. You know what I mean? And maybe we should. Maybe we'll get a lot of citizen science from the birds and the and all the mammals and you know, four-leggeds. A couple of things I think I really want to share for myself. The first message I got when I went out, the first solo, was about not braving, sort of no more braving, but just being. And I think, you know, connected to some of the things I already shared, there was a lot about braving it in my journey because of what I chose to do, and to get a message that says, you know, focus on being. And that's the same message Kenneth shared when he went to ask my question. That's I can't, it doesn't get any more profound for me, you know, and I take those things in really deeply and process and work with them, and then, you know, I do my alchemy. And going back to my earlier, was I going to join this as a participant, or was I just going to be a busy boss? And I just made a note here earlier: busy leads to disconnect. And I feel like it's almost like a badge we wear, like, I'm busy, you know. Can I meet with you this day? No, I'm busy. It's become this legit way to hide, or not even hide, but to disconnect. So that was, I mean, it seems really obvious, but it was a revelation for me. I mean, I think I shared some of my highlights already in the various check-ins. I'm still angry. That's not going to change for a while. Maybe I will die angry because I'm really angry about misogyny. I mean, it's not a man-woman thing. I mean, a woman can be misogynistic. But I guess that's maybe the simplistic explanation, is the hatred of the female or the feminine, and it could be within oneself. It could be within a system. And I don't want to go into this. I think we will have a program on this, not to intellectualize it, but to really understand it and maybe unpack it in our society, because I think it's one of our deepest issues in our society, and it is where all the discriminations, you know, sexual discriminations, the gender discriminations, etc., and it leads to this imbalance that we have, and it's so, I feel it so personally. And although I had my revelations during this time, And I surrendered. It was not easy to surrender something as I did. I still have to navigate what does that look like in terms of how I show up. Surrendering something doesn't, does that mean I don't know, am kinder to those that I see demonize or discount or dismiss the feminine or the female or the dark, or nature. Yeah, these are things still raw, and I will, that's my personal work. Thanks for listening. I kind of rambled on there, but this is me being Cynthia, not the boss. And I
Nice.
deeply appreciate the partnership with you, Claire. Yeah, I look forward to more, and really enjoyed being able to share you and who you are and what you bring into the world with my colleagues. Thank you.
Yeah, and thanks for this opportunity. It's the first time I've delivered a program like this virtually. So I would really like to thank Cynthia, as well as the rest of the team who made this possible, because I could really just trust that it was going to flow smoothly, and I really didn't have to worry, about the technical logistical side of things. So a big thanks for everybody who's made this possible, and really a big thanks for everybody else for trusting this process as well. I could see, as you are aware, it's not always easy. Even if, we didn't come in apprehensive about time in nature, it certainly can be quite confronting and revealing for us in many different ways. And, saw so many of you go through some bumps along the way. And I would really like to commend and thank you for continuing with it, and for your heartfelt sharing. And, I think everybody has lifted each other up at the same time. And of course, I would really like to thank the land that's holding all of us as well. So to finish the circle, if we could just close our eyes, doesn't matter if you're sitting or standing, I would just like to tune in to the land that you guys are on, and the land that I'm imagining and feeling into in a non-physical way. And just sink our collective awareness down into the earth, into the roots of all the trees that were holding you, into all the biosphere, all the ants and the squirrels and the butterflies and the dragonflies, and the water and the earth. And the sky above our heads. And feel that good heart energy pouring from us, and final thanks and reciprocity. It's offering some of our good heart energy back into the place around us. Okay, when you're final offering feels complete, you can open your eyes.
Stay a while and rest. So long ago, you were there. I'm not there. Now I'm here. We're okay. We're okay.
Thank you, everybody. If you want to take your objects back to your solo spot, you can do so. And you may have felt like you've given your, closing goodbye, but you can always go back there as well. And I'll look forward to seeing you guys in the future as well. And hopefully that will be in person next time. We'll get through this one way or another. And I'm sure that nature's going to be our partner along the way for this challenge as well.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.